Hello, Plentyi family. How are you doing today? I'm so happy you are joining us. We are going live again at 7 o'clock p.m. on a Wednesday. So please, if you are interested in any of the topics that we have about parking, because like I said, we are all about parking. If you have any topics that you would like to for us to talk about, please add it in our comments. We're open to new subjects, new topics. But today, we are talking about why driving around is the most expensive parking experience. So, again, I'm Andrea and I am with you today. Ask Anything Parking. And the question is, why driving around is the most expensive parking experience? And you say to yourself, how is that possible, right? How is it driving around is going to actually cost you more money, or it's going to cost you, it's going to be more expensive than actually parking your car in a parking garage, right? So let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever said, I'm not paying for parking. I'll just drive around for a few minutes. Have you ever done that? I have. I have done that. Actually, before I even started my live, I drove around for at least 10 minutes to find parking. And I couldn't find any parking, so I just decided to park my vehicle. Even though I know that where I'm parking my vehicle, I can't keep it there that long. But the time that it would take for me to actually find parking, I didn't want to sacrifice my time to check to find parking because I would be late for our Ask Anything parking segmentation, right? So that decision right there, right? That's usually the most expensive parking choice you can make. And I've made it plenty of times and it probably cost me money. So today I'm breaking down why driving around looking for parking actually costs more than just parking. So the first myth, I'll just find something, right? Most drivers don't plan to cruise. I know I don't plan to cruise. When I come in, I plan to park and go about my business. They think, well, I can catch something someone pulling out. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. Something will open up, which is true. That happens, right? Or you could save $10 to $20 or $30 or $40 or $50. All of that is true. So if you're going into an event or you're going somewhere where the parking is hard to find, that can actually be harder for you to do. Now, you in some areas where there's a low population, it's not a lot of traffic in that area, is after a certain amount of hours, yeah, you might be able just to find something. But in some areas, it's not going to be that easy, right? Um, but what we're really doing, because I put myself in the same category, is that we're entering into this parking lottery, and the house usually wins, but sometimes we win too. It's not always the house, right? And then part two, this 8-minute average and why it's misleading. So you'll often hear that the average driver spends about 8 minutes looking for parking, and people say that's not a lot of time. I mean, in my mind, it's not a lot of time for you to be able to find parking. I've taken 45 minutes to an hour trying to find parking. So in my mind, yeah, no, 8 minutes is not that bad. But here's the truth. 8 minutes is just the average. And average hides the pain, right? In quieter areas, some people park in 1 or 2 minutes, but in busy neighborhoods like mine's, or downtown areas, or near events, many drivers cruise much longer. It could be 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour sometimes. So here's my insight. Once parking supply gets tight, search time doesn't grow slowly, it spikes. But that depends, right? That depends on the area. Sometimes you continue to look for parking, it'll come up. Sometimes, if you especially if there's an event and the event started at a certain time, 7 o'clock, and you're looking for parking at 6 o'clock, most likely, yes, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get easier, right? So like one full block turns into two. I mean, I drove around that block about 3 times, 4 times, and I was like, you know what, I can't do this. This is too much. I just gotta park this car. So that's why people say I was 5 minutes away, right? Sometimes we are 5 minutes away, but it took you a half an hour to park. And it's true. Sometimes, I mean, even my son at times, when he is trying to, he'll drop something off or coming to pick up something. And then it could take him like 15, 20, 30 minutes sometimes from the time I spoke to him from to actually get the parking to get parked. Oh, hi, Rocky. I'm live. And Rocky came in. Oh, say hi to him. So, why driving around is so expensive? Time is the first cost. Every minute you spend cruising is time you can get back. Late to dinner, late to a show, late to work, late to life. Hi, Rocky. Say hi, Rocky. Say hi to. Say hi. Uh, come on. Okay. Here we go. So sorry about that. So even if you don't put a dollar sign on it, your time has real value. So also is fuel and wear and tear. When you're cruising, your engine is running the whole time. Stopping, starting, idling. That burns your gas. It wears your brakes. It stresses your engine. So you might think you save $15 on parking, but you're quietly spent on fuel maintenance and repairs. That's true. Because I know that you could spend a lot of time driving around 45 minutes and you probably spent about $5, $10 in gas just doing that. But anyway. So, also the environmental cost. And it's not just your car. There's an environmental cost to this, how it can be expensive for driving around looking for parking. Driving around for parking means more emissions without making progress. It can cars loop on the same block over and over again, adding congestion and worsening air quality. So, in busy neighborhoods and where events are, a noticeable amount of traffic isn't about traveling, it's people circling around. The congestion slows buses, delivery vehicles, rideshare, emergency responses, rideshare, Uber, Lyft, you know what I mean? So, once drivers cruising doesn't seem like a big deal, hundreds doing it at the same time, it compounds fast. And then also the stress and tickets. Like these are the things like you say, like it's cheaper to look around for parking, but these issues they can actually cost you more. Stress and tickets. So let's be honest. Like sometimes cruising raises stress. I mean, I know I was kind of stressed. I'm like I had to be upstairs in 30 minutes, so I was stressed. um, and that's why people misread signs. They parked just for a minute. That's what I did. I was like, well, I'll just park here until I'm finished and I'll come back. And then sometimes you forget to come back, and then next thing you know, your car is towed. So we take a risk because I know I did, right? So now your free parking turns into a 65 or $100 ticket, or even a trip to the Brooklyn Navy Yard with your car on the back of the tow truck. That can happen too. So why does this keep happening? I mean, we know the answer to that, right? Parking is simple economics. Too many drivers, too few spaces, not enough information, not enough spaces, right? People search by instinct, not data. So if you come into a place, you just say, "Well, I'll figure it out, trying to find somewhere to park," right? And when everyone else does the same thing at the same time, cruising and the congestion is exploding. It's the combination of both. So how do we avoid the most parking excuse me, how to avoid the most expensive parking experience? So decide before you drive. If you don't choose where you're parking ahead of time, you're gambling, right? So if you know that you're going to certain areas, there's tools that you can use. There's a tool New York City has. If you're in New York City, they have the New York City sweep tool, and you can actually use that and you put in an address of where you need to go, and then it'll let you know what the parking rules are for that area. So I'll let you know alternate side parking. So at least you know before you get there, you don't have to be driving around. You know exactly what time you should show up or the time you shouldn't show up. So that could be very helpful. Um, right. So we use off street parking intentionally, especially during peak hours and peak times and events. So evenings, weekends, and events are when the cruising cost skyrockets. So be willing to walk a block. So yes, you might want to be closer to the event, or you might be want to be closer to your job, but instead of you cruising, constantly driving around 10, 20, 30 minutes, you could have parked your car maybe 2 blocks down, and it would have saved you time, it would have saved you stress, and it will save you money, right? That's a win-win. That's three wins, right? So, and then it's also use tools that show availability. So, Plentyi, right? Our app, what it does, it shows you availability. So, if you're going to certain areas and you want to know if there's parking in certain garages, you can actually use our app, and it can assist you with that. And if you look into reserve and book parking ahead of time, that can help you as well. So you don't have to be driving around looking for parking or even calling the parking garages, because sometimes you do that as well. But we're just talking about the driving experience, right? So that's one tool you can use. And there's other tools that can actually help you find parking in certain locations. So what I think I'll do is we'll do like maybe an episode on the best parking apps that you can utilize that can help you with parking. I think that'd be very cool. So anyway, that being said, driving around feels cheaper until it isn't. Time, fuel, stress, wear and tear, pollution, it all adds up fast. That's why driving around is usually the most expensive parking experience. Plan once, park once, move on with your day. All right, family. So that is our tip for the week, right? Like I said, if you like what we said today, like it. Just click on the button, the little thumbs up, and like it. And then also you can subscribe to our channel so you can get all this information, because we're always talking about these issues. And if you know anybody who has this issue, share with them. Share the love, like spread the love. We need love out here, right? And spread the information. We want people to be informed. And then also, if you have any topics that you would like us to cover, please put it in the comments. We are always open up to talk about different things related to parking. So again, thank you for tuning in. God bless our Plentyi family and everyone else, and have an amazing evening.